So in this exercise, we're going to be talking about cultivating joy. It was a long journey into realizing that it was my responsibility to make joy something that was important to me. And I don't think we often think about joy that way. We wait for it to happen, we wait for something funny to happen, we wait for, someone to bring it to us. But this is a way where we can have this list, and then when things get tough, we can have this to reference back to and begin to bring that joy back into our own lives. I really love when I wake up the first time my alarm goes off. That is not often, but it really makes me feel like I've prioritized my self-care in a way where I can actually wake up on time. This is another small thing, but when Trader Joe's has eucalyptus, joy. It smells great. I'm gonna jack up the spelling, but that's the beauty of journaling. It's just for me. Only every one of you guys and me knows I can't spell eucalyptus. I love fresh flowers. I love when my kids laugh. Like, them laughing makes me laugh, and then we just are like three crazy people laughing. I really love the ocean. I actually have a meditation app that I listen to, and it brings me a lot of joy hearing that before bed. I'm like finding the joy as I'm doing this. If you don't, it's just like thinking about the things that make you happy. It really changes your mood instantly.
The idea behind this is that I think we hold a lot more than we think we do at any given time in our mind, in our hearts. And I prefer drawing hearts to brains, so that's why it's a heart. But this is just to show how many emotions and thoughts I can have about a single event or place of life at a certain time. This is about honoring both the good and the not so good. I'd like to show you one that I've already been working on. And this is about the season of fall, my fall heart. So I've already written a lot of it, and I will be painting it now because that's my favorite part. I sometimes use the time to really think about what I've actually written and meditate on it a little bit. It's one thing to write it out, and it's another thing to actually sit with it. I love the season of fall, but for me, it's a very emotional time. So I wrote about all of these different feelings and thoughts that I have during September, October, and November. I really like Halloween. I especially like seeing kids in duck costumes. When I was making this heart, I thought about, that's, I think, one of the highlights of fall. And then I was thinking a lot about leaves and how beautiful they are, but in the fall, they're also dying. So I have leaves dressing up for their deaths. And that's a really melancholy thought, but that's what I'm thinking about. I also put in this large block that says soft, light, clothes, book pages, and me. I feel very soft and squishy in the fall. I'm very emotional and kind of in touch with my feelings. I have this one at the bottom that says the realization of, okay, maybe it will happen next year. I think toward the end of fall, we're thinking about what did we think this year was gonna be like? And so I wanted to add that as sort of a hopeful thing for myself, like, all right, it'll happen next year. But also maybe kind of a more melancholy inventory of, oh, I didn't do the thing I wanted to do. But that's okay. A lot of people don't do the things they want to do. That's part of life. Part of making these hearts is sort of visually showing my commitment to a whole life as opposed to just a purely happy life. I could fill this with like lattes and leaves, but that's not the whole of what I'm feeling in the fall. I want to honor the different feelings I'm having and maybe the kind of aches and the things that I want. And that will help me do some more envisioning for the future as well.
This could be what you want today, what you want this second, what you want in 5 years. I think it's important to talk about and write down what you want, so not only is it promoting self-discovery, but you can also manifest things for yourself. I have my list and I'm ready to get started. First up on my list is a good nap. You can be as detailed or abstract as you want. I like to spend a lot of time, but it could also be something you know, set a time limit for yourself for. You know, journaling is not for everyone, and that's essentially what we are doing here. But I encourage you to just try it. It might surprise you how natural it feels to draw your feelings.
I've already sketched the whole thing out, and this is usually how I create these pages. Sometimes I'll just throw my sketchbook and a pencil and an eraser in my bag, and that's it, because I just don't want to have a lot of stuff with me. And so that's what I did. And on October 4th, I carried my book around and I did one of these busy day pages. So I'm gonna lead you through inking it. Then I'm gonna add at the end just a little bit of paint, just to have things pop, maybe give some depth to some of the objects. What I like about this layout is that I can work on it sporadically throughout the day. I can start in the corner in the morning when I'm, having my morning coffee, put my sketchbook away in my bag, come back to it, midday, maybe when I'm having a snack. A lot of times on really busy days that sort of just seep into the week and then the month and into the year, you don't even know really what happened, what was accomplished. And I find it's really gratifying for me to capture those days on paper. I think it's really nice on these very busy days to have a record and see at the end of the day how much you accomplished.
I find this exercise really useful because it helps you remember what parts of your life are already gratifying. And when you're seeking to change, whether it's yourself or how you're approaching certain things in your life or a person or a relationship you have, you remember that you have this support, you have the strength, and you have the ability to make change because you've already done it so many times. The first thing I drew was a bouquet because I wrote, I have a bouquet of amazing friendships that I have nurtured and helped grow. And the important part for me was the way I phrased it. Because while I'm really thankful for the friendships I have in my life, and I'm sure you are too, I wanted to acknowledge that I've put a lot of energy and effort into making them really healthy relationships. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint them. I'm gonna use really bright colors because this is something that feels really bright and beautiful in my life. The second thing that I felt a lot of gratitude was the ability to wake up every day and to try again at anything, to be a good friend, to be a good sister, to be a better writer, to listen well. Just every day I have the chance to wake up and try to do those things again. So for that, I drew a sun to symbolize a new day. And for the last gratifying thing I wanted to remember was I wrote, how far I've already come. This is, I think, a common loss in perspective that most of us have, is that we're always looking to how we can improve, how we can do better, how much further we want to go. But really, quite frequently, it's important to step back and to acknowledge and to remember how far you've already come, all the amazing things you've already done and gotten to see, and the best parts of yourself you've gotten to be. So for that, I drew a rainbow because it stretches really far and there's no end. Just how far I've already come. These are 3 of the things that I'm grateful for every day that I already have.